is the cost of this judgment? And then what are the implications for local government in Nigeria? I have Mr. Tayo Adekunle right here. Is a prince. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much indeed for having me.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'm interested more in the cost, but before we go to the cost, when you received this judgment on Friday, was it what you've expected?
Well, the Supreme Court merely restated the law and, went on to make quite interesting consequential orders. Like the learned Chief Akinola said, in the case of Olubuma and Ekiti, state government, Akpofore and Delta, the Supreme Court has always said that it is wrong for governors to dissolve democratically elected local governments. But
they kept doing it.
But yes, in those particular judgments, they only asked them to pay salaries. But in the instant matter, they asked them to pay salaries, allowances, and went on to award 20 million naira punitive cost against the government. So I received it as a person with mixed feelings, because I am aware that the fact that you have asked them to pay monies is good, but it's not really good enough for local government administration in Nigeria. I am a member of the Chartered Institute of Local Government and Public Administration of Nigeria, so I am on terra firma when I speak on local government issues. What I expected the Supreme Court to have done, I mean, that's if the extant laws would have allowed it, is for them to have reinstated those local government chairmen so that they could have what I call sanctity of tenure. Now, another governor might also dissolve in the future and say the worst that will happen is for us to pay.
So you don't think this judgment is punitive enough?
It is, but it is only good in a place where you have leaders and statesmen. In Nigeria, you have politicians in government. Most of them are not leaders, and they are not statesman-like when they conduct affairs of state. So any other person could say, okay, I'm dissolving. The worst is for you to go to court and get paid.
And we get to the Supreme Court.
But if the Supreme Court had reinstated them and allowed them to use that 3 years, it would have forestalled a possible occurrence in the future.
How do you describe the caretaker chairman?
Look, the Supreme Court has over time said that it's an illegality. And even some of the immediate past caretaker chairmen and women, if they were men of good conscience, they should return all monies that they earned during their illegal stay in office. Because this judgment is very clear. They are nothing more than usurpers and impostors in local government. As a matter of fact, their official portraits should be expunged from the various offices, from various local government offices in Oyo State, because in the eyes of the law, they were never chairmen in the first place. So if they are men of good conscience, they should return all the monies legally earned during their illegal stay.
Some have described that dissolution as executive recklessness.
Look, the courts have also said is executive recklessness. And that's why I said most of the people in government are politicians. They are not leaders and statesmen. Look, even if you are politically savvy and a member of the opposition wins elections, if you adopt the carrot and stick approach, the member of opposition might even cross over to your party. The governor is like a demigod in Nigeria. He has wide powers and influence. So it wouldn't have even mattered if you have local government chairmen in other parties, if you're a politically savvy person. But then, it's interesting to note that most governors in Nigeria, they are political buccaneers because they are always looking for extra powers, extra constitutional powers. They want state police, okay? But they don't want autonomy for state legislature. They don't want autonomy for state judiciary. They don't want autonomy for local governments.
And they know that the president cannot remove them.
And they know that so if the president cannot remove you, why should you go on to remove democratically elected local government councils?
Both of us were looking at the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission remuneration package for political, public, and judicial office holders.
Yes.
This specific one is from February 2007 to June 2009.
Yes.
And he says that the total package for a local government chairman besides some of the allowances, is 3,326,918 naira 40 kobo. The total, after we have added accommodation, furniture, duty allowance, Esther code per night, medical, severance gratuity, leave, loan optional, and the rest, motor vehicle loan, it amounts to 3,402,224 naira.
Yeah.
For a local government chairman. The vice chairman is about 3,040,000 naira, 304 naira. And for councillors, we're looking at this almost the same amount, 3.0 million naira, thereabout. So, how much is this going to cost us as a state?
The judgment debt is humongous. It's humongous. It's so huge. Monies like that could have been, channeled to other sectors of the state's economy. The judgment debt is humongous. And the interesting part is that the state taxpayers will be paying two sets of people for the same job done, more or less.
No, one didn't do the job.
I know if you wanted to do the job, but it was illegally removed.
So he didn't do the job, but he's going to be paid for it.
Of course, because he didn't sleep on his own. And another person
did the job illegally.
He allegedly did it illegally, because he was an impostor.
And we paid him.
He was an usurper, and we paid him. So if he had good conscience, he should return the monies he illegally earned back to the state.
But the court didn't say that.
Because that was not part of the issues for determination. And I know that there is a wide difference between law and morality, but the moral aspect is that if you have earned monies illegally, and this is the only month of Ramadan where you should atone for your sins, you should return the monies into the treasury.
Who is the ultimate loser here?
Taxpayers, the good people of Oyo State.
The people.
Yes, they are going to bear, the administrative misstep of the governor who swore to uphold the constitution when he was sworn in. Look, some people have argued that in other jurisdictions that it would have made a lot of sense for the governor to have borne personal liability for some of these humongous judgment debts that the state has incurred. He should have paid some of these monies, if not all of them.
We'll take a break. It's still Splash 105.5 FM. You need to go check these. Before I take this break, do you agree that this exposed to us how much we bear as a cost for these people in the office? Look,
the truth of the matter is that the cost of running bureaucracies, especially as regards political office holders, is too much. Look, some people have complained that professors earn a lot of money. This judgment has made us to know that what professors even earn is a fraction of what political office holders earn. Let's take a break. I'd like to hear from you as well. Good morning again, and thank you for being there.
Now, where's that big malt? Today was just one of those days. Woke up by 5, made breakfast, went to work, did my job, then my Oga's work, then Oga's work, came home, made dinner, and now nothing can stop me from enjoying my rich, smooth, refreshing Dubic malt.
Enjoy the silky smooth taste of Dubic malt. Dubic malt, crown the moment.
As the best man, I'd like to give a toast. But first, I have a few things to say. The money they are spraying the couple is reducing. It seems some people have rubbed glue under their shoes to pack it.
Clearly, he's been watching Comedy Nights or maybe My Siblings and I on Africa Magic Urban, DSTV channel 153. Now, you too can get inspired by our local entertainment. Get a HD decoder, dish, plus 1 month DSTV compact subscription for only 18,600 naira. Because great stories start on DSTV.
What do you need in a safeguard?
Children that like to play.
Them like to play.
Small pigs that must jolly oh.
Them like to jolly
But remember one thing. Protect them with safeguard too. Protect them with safeguard. Protect them with safeguard too. From the teen and yama so that future go better.
Safeguard antibacterial soap. They come out every yama for body. It also they available for 50-gram size.
Hey! You can have it hot, big chocolate. You can have it cold, big chocolate. You can have it at home, at school, at work, or when you hit the road. It doesn't matter who you are, grown up or a kid. Enjoy the chocolate. chocolate goodness every day because you need to reach your peak. Everybody needs nourishing goodness. You can never have enough, it's true. Taste the nourishment you can enjoy. Big chocolate it is.
Kids, grown-ups, it doesn't matter. Have a rich cup of peak chocolate anytime and enjoy the delicious nourishment of chocolaty goodness.
Big chocolate it is.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Àkókò ìjà tó pa bámbárì jù tá a ti ń retí ń lọ kọ́sùkọ̀ báyìí o. Kì í sí ipò yẹ̀rì láàrin jù bá náà lọ. Ó mà ṣe o. Ẹ wò bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń kú bí ojú pì. Ẹ̀ṣẹ́ àgbà wọlé lọ́tún lọ́sí. Ó dilẹ̀ gbága yìí. Ó ṣubú yàkàtà. Ó fìdí rẹ̀ ní ìjà parí o. Kò sógun mọ́ kò sọ́tẹ̀ mọ́. Àlùbámí ni Bọ́sìkà tún gborí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i.
Gba ìtura kíá kúrò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀fọ́rí, ìrora àti òtútù pẹ̀lú Bọ́sìkà. Bọ́sìkà ń gba ẹ̀fọ́rí, ìrora àti òtútù lágbàwọlẹ̀ ní kíákíá. Bí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, lọ rí dókítà.
Kí ló dé tó dá sí pọ́ọ̀tù bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn? Ó yẹ kó kọ́kọ́ kan ní kẹ́.
Ta ló sọ yẹn? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ṣe ń ṣe pásítà tèmi nìyẹn o. Àti pé golden penny ni pásítà tí kì í lẹ̀pọ̀ kò sí ìyọnu.
Àwọn èmi fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú ṣàjẹ́ àti oríṣiríṣi. Àtàtà tí kò kúnra àti rúworo.
Gbádùn golden penny pasta. Bó o ṣe fẹ́, a ṣe golden penny pasta pẹ̀lú èpo àlìkámà, durum wheat, tó ní protein tí kì í sí lẹ̀pọ̀. O ní àǹfààní láti sè é, bù ú tàbí jẹ bó o ṣe fẹ́ nítorí pé kò ní lẹ̀pọ̀. Pẹ̀lú golden penny pasta, bó o ṣe fẹ́ ló dáa jù.
Guys, see once I enter for this Big Brother Naija season 6, my fans will be called Chi Nation.
Oh shit!
Me as Funke, my own fans will be called Funke 5. Titus, you go, the Titus is.
Are you ready for fame and mega stardom? Ready to cash out 90 million naira worth of prizes? Then audition online for Big Brother Naija season 6 for free from the 3rd to the 16th of May. Log on to africamagic.tv/BB Edition and upload a 2-minute video telling Big Brother why you should be a housemate. Participants must be 21 years and older with a valid identity document. If you audition using the early access platform, you don't need to repeat this process. Big Brother Naija season 6 will air on DSTV and GoTV. Headline sponsor, Abeg. Associate sponsor, Patricia. Big Brother Naija is rated 18.
Hey, Oga and Madam, you don't see the room now. Make I show you the toilet where you could share with the other neighbors.
Now the toilet be this.
What's the happen?
Oga agent, you mean say na general toilets clean come white like this,
Yes, now. Na hypo toilet cleaner than they use to clean and kill the yama germs come out.
Hypo toilet cleaner? Wow.
Wash your toilet at least once a week with Hypo toilet cleaner to keep it sparkling clean and gem free. Available in sachet for 35 naira only. Madam, now 2 years landlord one collect.
We go pay for 6 years,
Good morning, my neighbors. How are you doing?
Who be down for this early moment now?
James, it is I, Johnny.
I beg, I no get money to borrow you again.
Be calming down. No need for that because I found more ways to make millions this season.
Johnny, my friend, yam me better.
Forget though, I don't get extra packet from Bet King. We be say if I chop one, it go be like say I don't chop 10.
That's right. You can max out your winnings on BetKing with boosted odds and multiple bonus.
My friend, this is where you differentiate the king from the crowd. Just visit betking.com on any device and see for yourself.
BetKing, playground for kings.
When woman become mama, e get another level where she dey take the city. So mama sabi when we get like pain dey knock for door. Mama no send o. She carry M&B paracetamol tablet wey dey kick pain with alacrity. The red one or the syrup wey get pineapple taste take sama aches and pains comot for her family. Mama dem wey wise up trust me and Becca pass 70 years when they don dey take care of people body. Abeg make you give aches and pains red card with M&B paracetamol. If wetin dey do you no vamoose after 3 days, abeg go see your doctor. M&B paracetamol. Pain no fit stop you.
Splash FM 105.5.
Thank you for being there. We should be rounding off our thoughts here now on this matter. But before we round off our thoughts on the issue of the local government in Nigeria, Prince, let's look at this part.
Yes.
Why is it that the local government has been ineffective in Nigeria?
I think it has to do with the constitutional lacuna. Section 7 essentially prescribes a system of democratically elected, local government. But if you look at Section 162 and all other enactments, it essentially places local government in control of the states. But going forward, we really need to review that and make them politically and financially autonomous.
Should the LG be a third?
I agree that it should be. I agree that it should be a third tier of government because look, we have the present insecurity that pervades the land has made us understand that we have quite a lot of ungoverned spaces. Look, Kishi is 5 hours away from Ibadan, and I know as a matter of fact that sometimes when you want to pass messages in Kishi, they use TV stations in Benin Republic or Kwara. So that simply means that before the hands of Ibadan administratively can get to Kishi, it will take time. But if you have a virile local government, some of these ungoverned spaces will be better managed by a strong and efficient local government system. I am not, no sane person will be averse to legislative or judicial control of local government. But what we're saying is that their legislative system, as determined by the number of councillors they have, they should be empowered to query a local government chairman for acts of misappropriation or acts of corruption. And if you say that you want to place them under the apron strings of the state, it doesn't make any sense, because the state has anti-corruption agencies. There is AFC, there is ICPC that can look at the ways and manner they are running their affairs.
So we should amend that constitution.
I mean, we should amend to make local government truly autonomous. Yes.
APC is asking the government of the state to postpone that election of the local government.
Well, I mean, I really don't know what a postponement would amount to. I really don't know what a postponement would amount to.
You don't think APC should participate?
It will serve the interest of participatory democracy if you have a strong opposition party like APC participating in the local government election. But as political realists, we all know that local government elections they are essentially determined by the governors of the states. And it's unfortunate that governors have not contributed to deepening democracy. The state independent electoral commissions have been as lifeless as anything.
You don't trust them?
No, you don't. Look, they have always declared somebody winning 75 seats, 76 seats. When the general election comes, the table turns. So rather than seek to participate, of course, everybody has their inalienable freedom of choice to participate in the election, but resources could be better tailored towards the big one in 2023.
So in your opinion, you don't think APC should be thinking
participation would not, in my humble opinion, would not essentially have an impact on what the election results will most likely be.
You are preempting the sanctity of that election.
Look, there are verifiable data of elections that state independent electoral commissions have conducted. It has always been won by parties who have their governors in power.
Can't we make the change now?
The more things change, the more they seem to remain the same.
Whoa. Okay. The governors of the southern part of Nigeria came together yesterday.
Fantastic.
Some people have said that what were they looking, for all this while, that they refused to harmonize their thoughts. Do you think it's a new dawn in the south?
I think the last time they met like that was during the Tinubu era, when Chief Ladoja and all of that were governors. But it's good that governors of the south are coming together, because the south has been rudderless for a long period of time. So it's good that the governors are coming together. It's good that they're also speaking in unison. It's good that they are presenting a unified agenda. However, we don't want it to be a spur of the moment. It should be something that will continue for a very long time to come. We need to even see, interstate collaboration between the southern states. Lagos, for instance, does not have land for agriculture.
But they went to the north.
It's a shame that they had to go to... Look, Oyo has now, if you drive from Isheyin down to Kishi, you see arable land everywhere. So we need that synergy. We need that collaboration.
They want Buhari to speak.
Yes.
Why should he speak?
He should look. Nigerians did not elect Garba Shehu or Mr. Femi Adesina or Alhaji Lai Mohammed. They elected Muhammadu Buhari as their president.
What do you want to hear him say?
Look, people want him to speak.
Hasn't he been speaking?
In person?
Have you never heard him speak?
Oh, he has spoken before, but look, the country is in dire straits now.
And so you
don't have to deceive himself.
What will his speech?
A presidential speech.
What would it do?
Is a reassurance. It's a reassurance. Leadership is not bread and butter. We are in troubled times, and you need consistent updates, by the president.
Let's come to your state. When you move around the city,
yes,
I'm going to ask you to listen to a report now.
Okay.
Do you see these school-age children selling face masks?
Yes, I've seen them quite a couple of times, especially in the very indigenous, areas of the urban city.
Listen to this report.
Okay.
And I want you to share your thoughts about it.
Okay.
It's by Ayo Olubusi.
Okay.
It's on how we found these children on the street of Ibadan during school hours selling nose masks.
According to United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, 1 in every 5 of the world's out-of-school children is in Nigeria. Even though primary education is officially free and compulsory, about 10.5 million of the country's children aged between 5 to 14 years are not in school. Only 61% of 6 to 11-year-olds regularly attend primary school, and only 35.6% of children aged 36 to 59 months receive early childhood education. Here in Oyo State, a survey conducted by the National Population Commission in 2020 indicates that 12% of children in Oyo State were out of school. The NPC Federal Commissioner in Oyo State, Dr. Eyitayo Oyetunji, who disclosed this at a program in Ibadan in December 2020, stated that this was the key outcome of the National Education Data Survey conducted by the NPC.
The data specifically is to evaluate the impact of this intervention. It's a 5-year project that started in 2017. In Oyo State, the report has shown that we still have 12% of children who ought to be in school out of school. And the report that we have today has shown that some of the reasons why these children have dropped out are that there are no teachers. For this, we are happy to note that the state is presently in the process of recruiting teachers.
In order to reduce the rate of children still out of school in Oyo, the state government early this year employed 5,000 professionals who would add value to the academic excellence of students. The state government claimed that the implementation of its free education policy agenda has led to reinstatement of not less than 43,000 out-of-school children into basic and secondary school education programs in the state. Despite this, the presence of children hawking on the street continues to appear during school hours in the city of Ibadan. Most of them were seen hawking nose masks and edibles at strategic areas such as banks and various bus stops, while some of them even venture into street begging. Reacting to this during a telephone interview, Oyo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Barrister Oluwaseun Akinola, said the state government has embarked on projects to promote access to education for the less privileged in this state. He stated that the government will not relent in its efforts to ensure that the number of children out of school reduces to its barest minimum.
We will be able to create access to school because then, if you look at the total development of school fees, then in 2019, we bring out 3 textbooks and 13 of them have been valuable subjects. Now, in the same year, it gave us about 2.9 million notebooks free to students in secondary schools. And this year, just about 2 months ago, we gave additional 2.6 million notebooks free. All these are meant to create access to schools. They don't even need to buy textbooks, they don't need to pay school fees, they will something them going to school. So, and the result is that we are seeing a progressive increase in enrollment in our schools, which means the out of school children are reducing the number. So we look at the 11% we had in 2019 and what we had in this current session. We have moved up.
Barrister Olale, however, reminded that the Child Rights Law of Oyo State and the Universal Basic Education Act are still very much active, and anyone who fall victim will be sanctioned accordingly. Being a major investment in human capital development, education plays a very crucial role in securing economic, social progress and improving income distribution. This explains why the state of education in Nigeria should continue to be a national discourse at all levels. Ayo Olugbusi, Splash FM News.
Splash FM 105.5.
Welcome back.
Are you a student? What class are you? Why are you not in school? Good money. There's no money, right? So what do you want the government to do for you? Help you. Want the government to help you, right? Are you a male or female? What class are you?
I'm going to be there just one. Yes.
Why are you not in school?
For how many that how many you decide by that?
You don't have parents.
Huh?
You don't have parents.
Don't get money.
You don't have a mother. Where do you think money? Money. What class are you? Are you a student?
Yes.
Why are you not in school?
Because of money.
Money. What class are you?
SS2.
Where do you think you should?
She's not in school because of money, because there is no money. Prince, what do you say about this?
It's disheartening and it's shocking. It appears that the new generation of parents do not seem to place premium value on education again, because you cannot entirely blame government alone. It's a two-way thing. But we would also call on government to read the streets of some of these young children who are trading. Look, I think there are provisions in the Child Rights Act that essentially, prohibits children trading. So government should enforce the provisions of that holistically.
Of the act.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the Citizens Gavel. Prince, just stay around. We'll be signing out in a moment. Citizens Gavel is owning this segment, and Lovey Kine from Citizens Gavel is here. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here again.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, so we're looking at remedies for breach of human rights, that is, right to life.
Yes.
One of the threats to right to life in Nigeria is jungle justice. And this is something that is prevalent in our system. Is there a remedy to the breach of right to life?
Yes, there is. The thing is, it falls. Everything rises and falls on the justice sector in Nigeria. If you have if you have a problem, if your right has been infringed upon, then the only place you can go to, the last hope of the common man in Nigeria, is the courts. And you could either take the path of the state prosecuting on your behalf, you as the nominal complainant, or that's the criminal process, or civil, and that's where you get to file for breach of fundamental human rights under the FREP rules. That's the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure rules. So you can either get to go to courts, the criminal procedure, or you take the route of civil. And that's the process for civil. You could make others for compensation, or most times when people take that route of the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure rules, most times they get compensatory damages, compensatory awards for the loss of lives, the loss of probably a breadwinner, or the loss of that particular person in the instance.
Okay, so I know it's a constitutional guaranteed right.
Yes, it is. Section
33 sub 1
yes, 1
of the Nigerian Constitution provides that person living in Nigeria shall have a right to life, and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life unless in execution of sentence of a court of a criminal offense of which he has been found guilty.
Exactly.
But we have had extrajudicial killings in Nigeria.
And we still have extrajudicial killings in Nigeria, and it's quite unfortunate that that's what we, that's the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria. And I think that's why we see different states, setting up panel of inquiry and all of that. But then again, I don't think we can actually talk about, when we say, compensatory, awards, compensatory damages, we cannot actually talk about it. It's one thing for the court to award damages, compensatory award, and then it is one thing for that judgment to be enforced. And that is actually the bane of court judgments. We are finding it difficult, to enforce the judgments, and that's because of a particular section in the Sheriff and Civil Processes Act.
What section is that?
That's section 84. You need the consent
of the AGF.
Of the AG. And because the AG is, quote unquote, a political appointee, most times, especially, for judgments that even have the courts have given, there is no headway. There is no consent given. And so, it is just there. The people, even if you even attempt to garnish it, you can't garnish the police without the consent of the AG.
I was even coming to that.
Right.
How many people have won a case against the police and got compensated?
I think my organization, that's the team lead, Nelson Olanipekun, did a brief survey, and it amounted to that's for like 7 families thereabout. It amounted to 1.2 billion naira. Unaccounted for. We have not been able to get, no consent, nothing at all. And it's disheartening because, when you subject, judicial decision, when you subject the judgment of the courts
to a political appointee. To the whims of a political appointee.
Exactly. It is, you can't go anywhere with it. You can't make any headway. And that's the problem when we talk about, the rights of the remedies for, infringing on human rights. We actually cannot talk about that in isolation because we have an elephant rather in the room.
All right, so in fact, not just in the room, in the China shop.
Well,
I guess that's where you find him, the elephant here. What should we do? Can we ever get a way to maybe modify or amend that provision of the Constitution?
Yes, there's a bill in the House of Reps, presently, that is, seeking to expunge that particular provision of the Sheriff and Civil Processes Act, and I think it's a very commendable one. It's a laudable, it's a laudable process. I believe that if we can do that, if we can get that provision out of the way, then our realities or these provisions will now truly become, our reality, what we hope to see, what we hope to achieve, because the courts, their hands are tied. Even if you say, the AG is not forthcoming with the consent, you decide to go to courts for another of mandamus, saying, you're compelling as a public official to do their duty. In Nigeria, court orders are not obeyed. It still amounts to nothing. So the remedies are there. They're actually not difficult to even, once there's, verifiable evidence, the court says that, this person, and it's not even only the government, it's just that we have problem, we have this problem when you want to enforce a particular judgment against the government. But
isn't it discouraging for anyone to say, my right has been trampled upon, or the right of my family members have been trampled upon. I lost a family member, and we're seeking for remedies, redress in this matter, and it has to go all the way to court, get an order of court, get the judgment, and yet it would not be enforced?
It's discouraging. It's disheartening. But, we must not lose hope. We must not lose hope. And like I said, process, there's already a process for Section 84 to be expunged. We hope that comes to light. So, when it does, there are people say, section, in justifying the presence of that section, saying, it's to guide the government, against, so that frivolous claims, but the courts is, our judges are sound. The court is one that guarantees. You don't come to court and just, the court just grants orders or compensates. No.
Well, like you said, it's to dash you.
Yes, the court is not a Father Christmas. There are processes. They would look at it. There must be evidence, to the fact that, this has happened, and then, these things are awarded. So the faith in the judiciary, in the justice sector, in our judges alone, should be enough protection for the government to know that the courts will not just make frivolous claims.
Rather than put the power residing in the AG, shouldn't we have the power residing in the court? So government should also go back to the court. Well,
this is what we are talking about. People autonomy of all of these things are linked. There is no reason why the decision of
the court
should be subject to the ratification of
a political person. That's the way I see it.
It doesn't follow. It is wrong. It is not proper, and we see, the impropriety of this particular section in how, in the inability to actually enforce judgments that over years, notorious cases for extrajudicial killings, APOCs, there are plenty. They have not been able to actually get.
And these emo students,
yes, sir. There are many.
You remember RU4?
We have not been. They've not been able to, because there is no consent.
Well, you said we should have hope.
Yes. As we walk towards, as the House of Reps, or the bill is already, in process, so we must just continue to hope that this thing, the process is completed, and then we're able to get that section out of the way. Then, like I also said, the criminal aspect of it is just that, for capital offenses most times, or, it's the ultimate punishment. So most times, people say, instead of us, we know that maybe if he's found guilty, the person would be, sentenced to death or life imprisonment. They want to take the other route, which, not just this person being sentenced to death. What happens to, the dependents? What happens to us, or, the family after this?
What came to my mind is Inumora right now. That's another case entirely. But I should not go there.
That's one. We just will not leave this.
Right, so we have to go. But you said we should have hope.
Yes, definitely.
If we want to reach out to Citizens Gavel, how do we contact Citizens Gavel?
You can reach out to us on 0810-2842-542. 0810-2842-542. Thank you.
Love Ikine from Citizens Gavel. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always appreciating you. Prince Adetaya Adekunle, thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you very much.
I hope to see you again soon.
No problems. Thank you.
All right, that's it on the program for today. Ayo Olubusi, thank you for that report. And AZ, thank you also for your assistance. Happy holiday to all our Muslim Ummah. Assalamu alaikum, as they say, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. Good morning. Have a wonderful Wednesday.